Hey, what's up guys? Beastarmada here bringing you some more Black Ops 2 gameplay. I'm playing with one of my friends from school named Fisher. You guys might have recognized him if you've been around for a little while. I've uploaded a few live cons with him and his friend Steven, I believe. And it was a lot of fun, so I decided to play with him a while back. This is probably about a month ago, but it's still a good little gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But we had a lot of fun with this. We went back and played some Black Ops 2. We played some Call of Duty Ghost as well, like I said. And, it was about a month ago. And it was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoy that gameplay. And today's subject is going to be a little bit about nostalgia. This is another disconnected episode, as you guys can tell by the title. So it's time to relax and open up a beverage of your choice, whatever it may be, and just kind of relax. This is a chill calm. And I found a subject that I thought you guys would really like. It definitely means a lot to me, the term nostalgia. Now, the term nostalgia to me reminds me of something, if I go back, and it brings back some really good memories, like that's the term that, defines nostalgia in my opinion. I really like getting this feeling. The feeling is one of the best feelings in the world, especially if you're a gamer and you go back to a time where you remember some of your greater moments that you've achieved in gaming. It can also happen with other things as well, but it's one of my favorite when it is included with gaming. I just like it. It's a lot of fun. I get to relive some of those glory days, if you will, of playing those old classic games that were just a lot of fun, and they always kept your attention, and it was just it was a blast to play. And I'm sure a lot of you remember, especially the older ones, the older people that view my videos, or around my age, you remember the games you played. Maybe you've played on the SNES, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or the Nintendo 64. Does that ring a bell? I know those aren't the oldest consoles to date, but they were some of the best, and there's no denying that. That was definitely one of the top choices of mine when it came to a console. I remember playing some Donkey Kong and some Contra, and a bunch of other games. I played a few Mario games, but not really. I didn't really get much into Mario. I know you're not an old school gamer if you never played Mario, and I did play Mario, but I never really, like I said, got into it. So I know, shame on me, right, as a gamer. But I was more into those action games, the war games, the shooters. It was always been a big, favorite genre of mine. I like shooters a lot. So anything that involved violence, I know that sounds terrible, but anything that involved a little bit of violence, it had an exciting factor, and it definitely kept my attention, and it was a lot of fun. And Contra seemed to do that pretty well. There's another game that I remember playing too, and I cannot remember the name of it. If I did, I would definitely like to go back and buy that game, because I never beat it. And to this day, I've still never beat it, and I would like to go back and try to beat it, because it was one of the most difficult games I've ever played. And I miss those days back in the day, when you played a video game. The single player was really difficult. And look at this host connection right here. It's pretty bad. But back in the day, and I know it sounds like I'm saying it a long time ago, but it's really not that long ago. But back when I was growing up, when you played video games and you played the storyline, it was not easy whatsoever to beat the storyline. There were some games that were more user-friendly, but for the majority of the time, you had a difficult time to beat that storyline. You had a bunch of bosses you had to fight if it was like an action game. Even if it was a racing game, it was pretty difficult, because the AI back then was pretty hard to beat, man. It was just how it was laid out and set up back then. And sometimes I miss that. I understand now you can choose the difficulty on these games now. You can choose the highest difficulty, and that's still a challenge, of course. Does anyone ever remember the days when you could go back and play a video game and there was no difficulty? You just played how it was standardly made, how the game was intended to be made. And I know a lot of people say, even with the choice of the difficulty, usually it's the one right above normal difficulty. They're like how the game's intended to be played, and all that. But I still think that if a game was, made by default, how it was a lot of fun. Just that challenge. I think the last game I remember that actually was a difficulty selector that gave me a challenge was probably Call of Duty 4 and World at War on veteran difficulty. There was a bunch of missions on there that were really difficult to beat. If any of you have ever tried it, try no fighting in the war room on Call of Duty 4 on veteran. You will have a blast of grenades after you. It is intense. And World at War, I think there was something about storming the Reich or whatever, the Reich. I don't remember exactly what the mission was called. They had some pretty intense missions, man, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember that. So what does this tie into with the nostalgia? So I feel like, I've been watching a lot of older videos that I used to watch back, in 2009. and even 2010. I felt like that was YouTube's prime, by the way. You guys have heard me speak of this multiple times. YouTube was in its prime, at least in my opinion, in 2009 and even 2010. Maybe a little bit in 2011, but that was when YouTube was blowing up. It was getting really known. People were like, dude, check out this website. You can watch people play games, and it's a lot of fun, and they interact with people. And I think that was when YouTube was in its peak, and I'm not going to ever go back on my word with that, because you can't tell me otherwise. I'm not trying to be stubborn, but YouTube, honestly, it was so great. And I'm not saying it's bad now. It's still a great website, but I feel like the way people acted was a lot more mature, and it seemed like it has a different audience back then as well. A lot more just relax and chill people. I mean, I kind of like the way the audience was back then. Trust me, you still had your bad seed, so to speak, and all that, but it seems like a lot of people just did it for the hobby, the fun factor. That's what video games are intended to be. They just made YouTube videos for the fun. And, before all this money and stuff made a lot of people corrupt. And that's just how it works. It's all good. Some people are going to do that. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, if I ever did this for money, I would never be corrupt. I'd actually donate the majority of the money to charities and stuff like that. Because I feel like there's other people that deserve it more than I do. But that's just me. And, I'm trying to make a positive influence on people and actually give people the right image. So that's what I'm trying to do. But, with the nostalgia thing, honestly, it's a great feeling. Like, I go back and watch some of these videos, and I watch how people acted and how they've changed and stuff. And some people that's actually stuck to their roots and kept their personality intact and haven't let big corporate businesses change them. And it's a great thing to see, man. It really is a great thing to see people still remain the way they are. A quick example, I went back and watched some CNNers Minecraft, the Welcome to Minecraft series. It was a ton of fun. It got me into Minecraft. It actually encouraged me to go out and buy the dang game. But before I even had any money, I actually got a free version of Minecraft. I know you should give rights to the developers, and I know I probably should have, but trust me, I definitely gave them the rights. I gave them the money that they well deserve for the game when I did buy it a few months ago. Back when I did get back into Minecraft. And he got me into Minecraft because I watched his Let's Plays back in 2010. And I got addicted to Minecraft for like months on end, man. And it was a lot of fun. And that was one of the first times in a while that I had been really addicted to a video game. And it brought me a bunch of joy and happiness. And that's all it did. It just brought me nothing but joy and happiness. And it was a great thing. It was a great feeling. And, nostalgia only comes around every so often. It may hit you today. It may hit you tomorrow. You may see something that reminds you of something that happened to you in your past. And you're like, wow, man, I really miss that. I really miss that feeling. And it gives you that feeling back. And it's just such a rewarding experience. I really like the feeling of nostalgia. And I know most of you've probably experienced it before. You're like, it's kind of like a deja vu kind of feeling. But nostalgia is much more powerful than that. It's just like it's a flashback. And it kind of reminds you about what your roots used to be. But that's just kind of my opinion. Feel free to share some of your nostalgia stories down in the comment section. I'm kind of interested. But you guys, of course, have an awesome day. And I'll see you in the next one.